welcome to Solido Demos. Today we are going to showcase Solido Online Ordering. This is our native solution for online ordering. What you see on the screen here is the guest experience. So we're going to start with the guest experience, place an order, and then see how that looks going through the routing in the restaurant. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find a menu item that we want to order. I'm going to go to this arugula salad here. And when I click it, I can see a larger view of the image that was posted, as well as a short description. And I can choose from some merchant-defined add-ons. So all of these can be added by the merchant for the guest to order. And then at the bottom here, you can add any additional instructions as a guest. So if you need to say extra cheese or light dressing or anything like that, you can put that in there. You also can update the quantity. So you can add as many or as few as you like. And then once you are ready to add it to your cart, you can hit add to cart. If you're done ordering, you need to choose a pickup time. So you can go to the top here and select pickup time. And all of these times here are set up by the merchant. So this is based off of the schedule that the merchant has decided is okay for orders to come in for. As a guest, I can choose any of these times as long as the capacity is available for me. Or I also have the option of choosing as soon as possible. This is something that you can turn on or off as a merchant. So if you do not want ASAP orders, you can turn that off. In my case, I'm a quick service restaurant. I do want to have that turned on. And so when I do that, I can just choose ASAP. And you can see next to ASAP, it says roughly 30 minutes. So that is a prep time that is defined by the merchant. And they're letting you know that ASAP means within the next 30 minutes, the order will be ready. All right, so the next thing we need to do is hit checkout, assuming that we don't want to make any changes to our selections. You can see here, I can choose to change and update anything that I've ordered. And then it'll say update cart, or I could remove the item and choose something else. In my case, I am happy with my selections, so I'm going to choose checkout. On the checkout screen, you can see I get a reminder of roughly how long the wait time should be. So as soon as 30 minutes from now, the order will be ready. I can, as a guest, I can add a coupon. These are discounts that you set up in the Solido backend for Solo, and you can turn these on for a specific day of the week. You can turn them on for a time frame, like let's say Q3, or maybe you want the discounts to be available year round. You can do that as well. As a guest, if I want to add any additional instructions, I can do that here. And so this goes on the entire order versus the menu item itself. The phone number for order updates is mandatory. It needs to be a valid phone number that can receive text messages. I've input one already. And I also, as a guest, can choose a tip that I want to add. And I can do that by a dollar amount or by percentage. And after that, I'm ready to hit pay securely. And we are presented with the payment screen. These fields are all set up to be compliant with e-commerce transactions. So it is mandatory to fill in your first name, your last name, the address that is listed on the card, the zip code that is associated with it, as well as the CVV. So this should prevent any chargeback requests that a merchant might receive from an online ordering request. I'm going to input that credit card information, and I'm going to move to the guest experience or the restaurant experience. So I'm changing screens here to a new screen. And while we're getting acquainted with that new screen, I am going to fill in my credit card information. So on the top left, you can see is a online ordering KDS. So this is the KDS, the kitchen display system, that manages the orders as they come in. We have two different settings for it. You can have orders automatically accept, or you can have them set up to be reviewed first. In a case where you might want to have orders automatically accept is a restaurant where you're not necessarily concerned about 86s or low counts. You do a lot of volume and you just want the orders to flow through from the online ordering KDS and go into the routing to the various prep devices in the store. So that's when you would want to turn that on. And if you want a human to actually review each order that comes in, you want to turn the auto accept orders off, which is what I've done in this case to showcase an order hitting the Olo KDS before it moves through the routing. There's two other KDSs on the screen. So in the top right is a Expo KDS. So this would be sitting at the pass of a restaurant where an expediter will be standing to help manage the orders that are coming through. So you actually could have an Expo KDS set up, and you can see dine-in orders and online orders at the same exact time on the Expo KDS. That being said, an Expo KDS is not mandatory. Neither is the second KDS that we're going to talk about, the Prep KDS. These are digital representations of printers as well. So Slido online ordering will work just as well with traditional printers as it will with these KDSs. It's just easier to showcase them as KDSs for this demo. So do not feel like you have to have an Expo KDS or you have to have a Prep KDS. This is just for the purposes of this demo, but it is nice to have it as well. So the second KDS, like I said, is the Prep KDS. This is the KDS that would be sitting in front of the prep cooks. So they can manage their orders on a Prep KDS, or you could have a traditional prep printer and they would be letting the rest of the kitchen management team know verbally when they're done with their tickets. The Prep KDS allows them to update their tickets using the system without having to talk to anyone. So that's the only benefit of that. All right, so I'm going to submit my order now, and we're going to see it land in the top left at the online ordering KDS, and it's going to prompt me to review it. So my order has populated, and you can see it's offering me accept or reject. So I could accept or reject it from here, or I can click on the order and take a look at it. So I can see the check information. I can see who the guest is, what their callback number is. So maybe I need to call them and let them know. I have that option based off of the phone number listed there. I also can review the menu items. And so if there's any low counts or 86s or anything we can't do, maybe they made modifications that should not have been accepted, I can say reject at this point, and the guest will automatically be refunded and notified that their order was not accepted. If everything looks okay, I can hit accept. They will get a notification that says their order was accepted by the restaurant and that it's being that they're going to start working on it. So I'm going to hit accept at this point, and you're going to see the order flow through the routing to the other two KDSs. This would be printed at this point if you were using printers. Hit confirm, and now you can see on the other two KDSs, the ticket has populated. On the Expo in the top right, you can see it says the order, and also has a banner based off of the time. I've set the banner really low, so it would still be relatively new at this point, but I think I set it to like 2 seconds. So now it's showing me as red, indicating that my order is late. On the Prep KDS, you can see it says start. And so you also can set auto start for your prep cooks if you'd like. Let's say that you're in a very busy restaurant. They don't have time to start every ticket that comes onto their KDS. So you don't want them to have to click start every time. You can set that up. Or in my case, you can let the prep cook control when they're actually starting an order. So that way the Expo KDS is getting accurate updates on how long it's taking this dish to cook. So as soon as I hit start, it's going to update the Expo KDS to let, the Prep KDS to show done. So whenever I'm finished preparing this dish, I can click done. And it will now update the Expo KDS. And you can see done is now available for the Expo KDS. And so if I know everything's prepared, I can hit done there as well and finish the experience. The last piece of this is when a guest is coming to pick up the order. As a restaurateur, I may want to ask that guest to sign for their online order. You can do that by logging into the Slido terminal. In this case, you can see that in the bottom left. So any traditional Slido terminal, you can log into and look up that online order and print that check. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go to the hamburger menu, which brings up the settings screen. I'm going to choose checks. And then I want to change this revenue center from dining room to the actual online ordering revenue center. So I'm going to click dining room, and I'm going to find the solo online ordering revenue center and select that. This is the employee that is logged in right now. I want to choose all employees, and I need to make one more change. So the revenue center is currently showing all open checks. I need to toggle that to close checks. Solo automatically closes checks because the payment is taken at the time of order. And so the checks are closed. And when I toggle to closed, I now see a list of the orders that have come through. The most recent one that was finished on the Expo KDS will populate at the top. So this check here, 1278, is the most recent check, and I can confirm that by checking the order. So I can look at it and say, okay, it's a arugula salad. I can confirm the guest label is correct, and the tip and the total are correct. If I needed to void this check at this point, let's say the guest found something wrong with the order, I could void it, or in my case, I want to print it. So if I print, it's going to print a guest-facing receipt with a signature line. So the best case scenario for this is like if you have a terminal at the host stand or something like that. When the guest comes to pick up the order, they go to the host stand. You have this terminal here. You ask for the guest's name. You find their food order, identify the check number, pull it up, print it, have the guest sign it. And that way, it's one more security measure you can set up for yourself to protect against chargebacks. The guest has signed for their order, and then in that way, it's essentially treated like a dine-in check, and you can put that in your records when, let's say the guest comes back and tries to say that they didn't order it. You can see like their signatures there. So just one more way to protect the restaurant in the e-commerce online ordering experience. After that, we will discuss the configuration, but we'll do that in another video. If you have any questions about Slido online ordering, if you want to see another demo, please reach out to your account manager, or you can also reach out to Slido support as well. Thank you very much.